You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Pranadana, just rest down into the lap. So just soften through the shoulders, soften through the elbows and the wrists. And this practice is all about fun. It really is. I want you to find the lightheartedness of some of these postures, finding, enjoyment, and remembering to smile, not get frustrated when something, crops up that challenges you. And you know how to modify things to your own ability, to your own range of motion. And using props, popping knees down, bending knees, all of that kind of stuff. So our Pranadana mudra is really all about surrender. So surrendering into postures, surrendering into the breath as you release tightness and tension. So allow your breath to flow freely. Breathing in, notice how you feel on that breath in, filling the entire body. And breathing out, noticing how you feel on that breath out, letting go. Tightness, tension releases. You're starting to relax through the forehead, the area between the eyebrows, the temples, the area around the eyes. Relax into the cheekbones, the jaws, the teeth. Start to relax the mouth and just gently draw the corners of the mouth upwards so you can start to invite a little smile. And smile into the eyes behind the lids here. Almost feel that smile extending all the way across your entire face. You can always return back to this smile at any point through the practice today. And you are meant to enjoy life. Nothing is permanent. If you are going through a transition, think about the joy that will come when you get through whatever you are dealing with. Your soul becomes stronger with each change, with each challenge. Find adventure during this time. Enjoy the new vistas and memories that you are making. Happiness and joy is always available to you. And let go of the way that you think things need to go and relax into the journey and enjoy the process. And for your intention, invite anything in that resonates with you about joy, happiness, finding, the enjoyment of process and the journey. Learning new postures and having some fun, lightheartedness with those. And bringing that Pranadana mudra up in front of the heart space, flipping the fingers up towards the sky. Thumbs just point in towards the sternum. Just relax through the spine here as you lengthen the arms up above the head, keeping the mudra for as long as you can. Opening up the chest to gaze towards the underside of your fingers. And then opening out the mudra, letting the arms float down by the sides of you. Circle the shoulders. Breathing in, lifting the shoulders up, breathing out, circling back and down. Let's reach up and over. Give yourself a little bit of side stretch. Let's just get into a bit of movement and reaching up and over the other side. Bringing center, interlacing fingers, rounding spine, dropping chin to chest. Releasing the arms up and back behind you, little back bend there. Bring yourself center, take a little twist, right and left. And then let's come to kneeling on the mat, finding your tabletop position. So just swaying out the hips from side to side here, just circle the hips around towards the wrists and back towards the heels, coming into child's pose, coming forward towards the wrists, exhaling back to child's pose. Twice more in this one direction. And flowing with the breath, relaxing the facial expression. And then circling the other way, exhaling, hips go back to heels, inhale, come forward. I want to really start to get involved into the sides of the body, releasing through the spine, a couple times more, exhaling back to heels, inhaling forward. And next time, just release back, take the knees a little bit wider, bring the big toes to touch. Reach the fingertips all the way to the sides of your mat as you come into that relaxed child's pose. So exhaling where you need to here. Relax through the facial expression as the forehead just rests down onto the mat or onto a block. Relax the area around the eyes, the temples. Let the cheekbones soften and the jaw relax. And then bring yourself back up into tabletop. Bringing the knees to parallel, find a cat and cow here with the breath. Inhaling for cow, exhaling for your cat. Starting to mobilize through the spine, whatever day you've had. And then last time we come back up all the way into a high cat. So bringing up onto the fingertips, scooping up the belly, rounding shoulders, chin comes to the chest. Tucking the toes and just pulling yourself back into thunderbolt, sitting nice and tall. Kneeling pose. Resting into that toe stretch there. Breathing in, lifting the arms up. Breathing out, hands come down through the center line of the body and slide out into heart pose. Keep the toes tucked for as long as you can here. And then when the arms come out in front of you, relax to the tops of the feet. Lift the hips nice and high. Maybe you're resting on the chin or the forehead in this heart pose. Sliding forward onto the forearms. Breathing in, breathing out. Exhaling, hips down into Sphinx. Find a breath in and breath out. Release the elbows as you roll down. Hands come to the outer corners of your mat as you press up into seal. Exhale, roll down, press back to tabletop. Right leg comes forward, exhaling into a nice low lunge, and then pulling hips back into your half monkey. Breathing in, breathing out. Right hand comes on the inside of that right leg. Lift the heel, strong, sweep it back into tiger. Left hand might reach back to take hold of that foot and open up the chest, pushing away through the left shin, right palm. Nice and slowly lower, tucking the toes, pulling yourself back into that thunderbolt kneeling pose. Left side, inhale, arms raise, hands come down through the center line of the body. Sliding out, keep the toes tucked for as long as you can, lifting the hips. When the arms come forward, release to the tops of the feet. Breathing in, breathing out. And forward onto the forearms, keeping the knees down for the moment. Exhaling, lowering the hips into your Sphinx, breathing in, breathing out. Lowering elbows, releasing all the way. Hands come to the wide corners of your mat. Press up into seal. And rolling down. Pulling back into tabletop. Left leg comes through. Nice little low lunge. Sinking hips, opening chest. And then pulling back into your half splits. Exhaling over that front left thigh. Releasing left heel, sweeping left leg all the way around, taking hold of that left foot by the right hand if you wish. You can, of course, keep both palms down, opening up the chest, stretching through that left hip flexor and quad. And nice and slowly release, tucking the toes once more, coming back into Thunderbolt. This time we just step up into a full forearm plank and a high lunge. Inhaling, arms raise, exhale, hands come down through the heart center, sliding out, melting your heart down. Releasing to the tops of the feet, come all the way onto your forearms, tucking toes once more, forearm plank. Breathing in, breathing out. Lowering hips, Sphinx pose, releasing to the tops of the feet. Breathing in, breathing out. Widen the elbows as you slowly roll down. Hands come to the wider corners, pressing up. This time, stay up into that seal. Take a gaze back to the right foot. Take a gaze back to the left foot. Bring center, lower down. Press back to tabletop. Right leg comes through. Tuck the back toe, come up into a high lunge. You can bring the hands just onto the front knee. Press back through the back heel. Drop the hips a little bit more. Hands come on the inside of your right foot. This is a little bit different here, so you can lift the foot, sweep it back around, three-legged plank. Come back into plank. Lower knees, chin, chest, or your chaturanga into your upward facing dog and back into downward facing dog. Huddling out left and right. Finding the breath. When you're ready, exhaling both heels together. Find a nice breath there. Lowering the knees, keeping the toes tucked, and pulling back into high kneel. Last and final time, left side, inhaling, arms raise. Exhaling, hands come down through the heart center, sliding those hands out, melting heart pose. Releasing to the tops of the feet, coming forward into your forearm plank, tucking those toes, lifting the knees, pushing back through the heel. Lowering hips, come straight up into that Sphinx pose, opening chest, breathing in. Breathing out. Lower the elbows, release the spine, release the chest, hands come to the top corners, pressing up into seal. Nice straight arms if you can, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Turn the head to the left. How much is comfortable for you? Turn the head to the right. Bring back into center. Lower down. Hands come by the shoulders, press back to tabletop. Left leg comes through. Find your high lunge, tucking back toe, lifting up. Hands can come onto the front knee. So drop the hips right between the feet if you can. Bend a little deeper. Then hands come on the inside of your left foot. Three-legged plank here as you lift that left leg, sweep it all the way back around into your high plank, choosing knees down, chest down, or your chaturanga into your upward facing dog, back into your downward facing dog to pedal out. Releasing left and right. When you're ready, exhaling, releasing both heels, pressing chest back towards the thighs, spreading fingers, strong through wrists, arms, shoulders. And from here, we transition into our flow. Looking forward, walking the feet towards the front of the mat. Take the feet wide, coming into Malasana. So dropping hips between the heels, bringing hands into the center. And breathing, keeping the spine nice and long. Make sure that you're rolling those feet outwards towards the back of your mat. Try not to let those ankles roll inwards. This is a transition we'll come back to quite a bit today, which is from Malasana to bear pose. Hands come to the mat, lift the hips and turn the toes inwards. They're on the outer edges of your mat. Bend the knees over the middle toes, deep, deep squat. Reach the fingertips forward. So wrists, shoulders, hips, all in alignment here. Bending, bending, bending. Bend the knees, keep them nice and wide. Belly is between the thighs. From here, we transition into a sweeping side squat. So hands come down, step back with the right leg, move the feet accordingly. And slide over to the back. Slide to the front. Hands come down. We're going to work to the side of our mat. So gently rest the left knee down and rearrange your right foot. This is your bird pose. Arms come back behind you and you fold forward. Good. So nice long spine here. Chest is parallel to the earth. Reach the crown of the head of the wave. Really plant through that right leg. Nice and slowly, hands come down if you need to, or just come straight up into your gate pose. Reaching over, right hand takes left thigh. So reach, reach, reach. You're going to pull the left thigh to get that extra stretch. That's probably where Sonal said the side stretch came in. And then release back into center. We come into half moon. So left hand comes down. Right leg lifts. Right arm lifts. Lower the foot and turn towards the front of your mat on that knee. And then bring the right leg through. Dropping into a winged lizard. You can slide that left leg all the way back here. So winged lizard, opening up that front heel. You can stay up on the palms here, or you might like to come down onto the forearms or onto blocks, whatever you feel you need. We're going to go into a twisted lizard from here. So if you have come down onto the forearms, you can, of course, stay on the forearms, or you might come up to the palm. Let me tell you that the forearms is going to be more challenging, more difficult to get into that twisted lizard. So left hand or left forearm stays down on the mat. You sweep the right arm back. Slightly different to a monkey twist, but opening up the chest. Now your choice here, you can release the back left leg and take hold of the foot. Dropping the hips, releasing. Nice and slowly, release, come back into center. This is your crawling lizard. So we're going to tuck the back toe, but keep the knee down. Right arm comes through the body and fingertips face towards the back of the mat. So it goes underneath the front right thigh. That's it. Left arm reaches forward. Try and find the stretch, the deep work there. That's it. I know. We come into a bound lizard from here. So that right arm is already underneath that thigh, ready to come into the bind. And then left arm might come and wrap around right buttock. Good. Bound lizard. Whew, nice and slowly release. Woo. And we're going to release that right leg. Tuck the back toe. Right leg comes back into plank. Sweep it back. Find your connecting vinyasa. Knees, chest, shin. Or your chaturanga. Back into your downward facing dog. Take a moment to pause and breathe. So that is your flow on the right side. Looking forward. Walking feet towards the front of your mat. Take your malasana. Exhale. Remember, smiling. Enjoying the process. A smile always helps when you're in these tricky postures. Releasing to bear, so hands come down, lifting hips, turning toes inwards, and they stay on the wider edges of the mat. Bend the knees, reach arm forward. Get the belly all the way on the inside of those thighs, bend a little deeper, send the knees wide of your middle toe. And let's go left leg back this time into that sweeping side squat, so you can always transition nice and carefully. I've got my back to you now, I'm sorry, but sweeping over to the front of the mat. And then into your bird pose, hands come down to lower that right knee nice and carefully. Moving the feet as you need to, the arms come back behind you. Reach the fingers away, spine long and chest is parallel to the mat. Beautiful. Palms are face down. Coming into gate pose, we come up and left hand takes front thigh, right hand reaches over. Coming into half moon, sweeping and windmilling the hands over. Or forefoot. Carefully turn on the knee and then bring left leg forward into your winged dragon, sliding right leg back. So winged dragon, find your variation that you need, whether that's on fingertips, blocks, palms, or forearms. Twisted lizard, maybe on the forearms, maybe on the palm. Reach the arm back, open chest, open left side. Always an option. You can stay there, or you may take the back foot. Release. Left hand comes through and under the left thigh. Fingertips are face back towards the mat. Your right hand reaches forward. Try and get nice and low. You're crawling lizard. You come into the bind. Left hand just reaches to the left hip. Right hand reaches around. Sink the hips a little bit more here. Stay low. And then bring the hands on the inside. Tuck the back toe. And you're going to sweep that left leg back and around into your high plank to find your connecting vinyasa of choice. Exhaling, coming back into downward facing dog. Taking a few moments to breathe. And looking forward, stepping or hopping straight into your malasana. So you can bend the knees, jump it forward, and go straight into malasana from there. Lengthening the spine. I'm going to transition into that bear pose. So maybe you don't use the hands down on the mat and you can simply lift the hips, turning the toes inwards, reaching fingers out. From here, we straighten through the legs. Lift the hips, straighten through the back of the knees without popping, keeping the spine long, bending knees, squatting. Twice more, lifting hips. Try not to let the body drop when you extend the legs, keeping a nice L shape. Good. Last time, squat, bear pose, and then straight legs. Exhale, release into a fold. Heel toe feet into parallel. Exhale, a little bit deeper. Nice and slowly bend the knees as you need to roll up through the spine. Come into standing. Find your standing pose, Tadasana. I'm going to come into a half bound lotus standing fold. So which is basically your leg comes across into the hip, just holding on here. So you can hold the foot and you can use the hand and you take the fold. You can, of course, bend into the knee as you take this fold forward. Maybe the hands come down. Maybe they just hang here. To get a bind, this hand comes back around and it might reach for this foot. You don't have to, of course, do the bind. But be careful. One thing to mention on this one is watch my supporting leg as I go forward with a straight leg. So what tends to happen is that you really push, because this foot is into the crook of the hip, it's pushing the hips back. Try to keep the weight into the front of the feet so that you come forward into the fold. And then you release this right arm to take hold of that toe. It might not reach. So let's try our half bound fold. Good. Take it nice and steady. Doesn't matter where the foot is placed, folding over that thigh. Taking the bind if it reaches, if not, that's okay. You're already in a complex posture. Coming out when you need to, rising up, keeping the balance as you come back up, and then releasing the foot into Tadasana. Good. So taking other foot across, again, you can always hold onto that foot. It definitely does not have to be up into the crook of your hip. So bringing the hand into the heart center, maybe bending the supporting leg to take the fold so that you don't sway back. And releasing down. And this time, the left hand goes around the back. Might just rest into the back, might take the toe. Good. So we're aiming for a half bound lotus fold. Fantastic. Yeah, and a smile. Well done. So this is where we do our flow once more, but we try and take the knee off of the mat in our crawling lizard and crawling and bound lizard. So let's drop down into your malasana. Let's stretch out into bear pose. Let's step it back into your sweeping side squat. Come to the front. Release into bird. So maybe your bird now might lift the back leg, right leg away from the mat into bird. Whoa. And then release up into gate. Taking the hand across. Oh, that's much nicer now. Windmilling the arms into your half moon. Turning nice and carefully onto the left knee, bringing the right foot forward, tucking the back toe. We're going to come into that high lizard straight away. Maybe dropping to the forearms or onto blocks. Make sure that you've got a really strong stance here. You can come into the twist. Now it would be a bit hard to come into the twisted release with the leg here, so I'm not going to suggest that one. Stay in the twist. Hand comes through, crawling lizard with the back leg off. That's it. And your bound lizard. Keep smiling. You need to put all of the weight into that right foot to get that bound lizard with the back leg, back knee off the mat. Fantastic. Gently release. Hands come on the inside. You tuck the back toe if it isn't already and sweep that leg round into plank. Exhale. Chaturangas or ground position. Back into your down dog after your back extension. Fantastic. Last and final time, hopping or stepping through into Malasana. Oh, I think I'll come this way actually. Releasing into bear. Stepping back into side squat. Coming to the front, dropping the knee nice and carefully, finding that bird pose. Arms reach back, palms face down. Try and get all of the weight into the right leg, lifting left toes. Maybe they hover just an inch. Release the foot, come into gate pose. Come into half moon, right hand down, left leg lifts. Good. Release the leg. Turn to the front. As you bring left foot forward, slide the right back. High lizard. Coming down onto forearms if you wish. Do not have to, of course. You can, of course, lower the knee. Twisted lizard. Crawling lizard. Hand comes through and under. Right arm reaches forward. Bound lizard. Most of the weight goes into that left foot. It's deep work into that left hip, left hamstring, and it's tough to balance. Remember the smile. And release the hands. Three-legged plank sweeps that left leg back. Lower chaturanga into your up dog. And exhale back into down dog. Take a few deep breaths. This is where we start to slow it down and get into some deeper stretches. Gets the heart working, that one. And take a child's pose. Exhaling, hands come back behind you. So rolling up through the spine to kneeling, swing the legs around. Let's come into our fire log pose. So fire log, you can do a single or a double, basically. Right leg comes on top. Both feet are flexed. You're trying to make a little triangle in the seat there. You can sit on a block. This leg starts to drop down. I know, deep work into fire log. If it's not for you today, take the left leg out, but make sure that shin just rests over the thigh. That's it. Make sure you've got flexion into that foot and you're pushing the sole of the foot away. Good. We are going to come into our arm balance of baby grasshopper. So right foot slides off and grounds. We're going to come onto the foot and this leg extends out underneath you there. So out to your back of your mat. The right arm comes in front. And then maybe, this was where I got lost last time. You can use the block as well, actually. Do you know what I'm going to use as a block to sit on? Because that just lifts me up. So right foot in front, and you can take hold of this left foot. This arm is in your chaturanga position, and then you lift up hips, pushing sole of the foot away. And come back. That's a baby variation. That's it. Rock the hips forward. Keep the chest parallel to the mat. That's it. You've got it, Sonal. Perfect. Go on. Rock forward, David. Yeah. Make sure you've got this elbow and wrist underneath the elbow in that left hand. It's strong there. Nice. And release, come back out. Swing the legs around into Dandasana. Hands come by the side of the body. Roll the shoulders back and down. Long through the spine here. And if you like, you can start to lift the buttocks, pushing away from the mat. And maybe you lift one heel, the other heel, or both heels. I know, and that's why I laugh at things like this, because I'm like, that's impossible for me. But I've seen it done. Okay. Other side for fire log. So left leg goes on top, whether your leg is straight out or you're trying for the double variation. Ooh, exhaling. So we know where we're going. We're going into the baby grasshopper. So it's an arm balance, a little bit of fun arm balance. So left foot slides off. Right hand comes forward. You're going to bend into the elbow. Make sure that elbow comes across. The left arm shoots across the shin, takes hold of the foot, and extend that leg away and rock forward. It's impossible for me to do without a block. Chest is parallel to the mat. Fantastic. That's it. Push that sole of the extended leg away. Very similar to eight angle, Ashtavakrasana posture. Very similar to that, isn't it? Where we've got the legs squeezing together, and you know, we're that one, isn't it? Whoa, swing the legs around. Let's come back into Dandasana. Again, pushing away, lifting the hips. Maybe a heel comes off. Strong work, that. And release. Draw the heels in. Take your 2 peace fingers onto your big toe and seated butterfly. Exhale, pull the chest down, forward fold. Slow everything down here. We're going to come into a balance. So have the focus, but also have the fun side of this balance. Bring the body back up. Transition the weight into the sit bones. Lift the heels. Keep the soles of the feet in front of you. We're going to extend the legs out to the side. This is your flying bear. Maybe the legs are bent, maybe they're straight. Push the soles of the foot away and press the chest through towards the legs. Yeah, fantastic. Flying bear. Give yourselves a smile for balancing. Slowly bring the feet back in together. Down towards the mat. Take that fold once more. Exhale. Slow it all down. And bring yourself back up. Bring the heels away from the mat. Sit nice and tall. Take right leg out only. Bring the left heel in a little closer. Bring the right heel to meet the left. Left heel goes out. Bring the right heel in a little closer. Hope you're smiling. Bring that heel into the center. Extend them out in front of you. So bringing the legs parallel. It's an extended boat pose. Into flying bear. Widen the legs. Keep the balance. Fantastic. Press the chest through a little bit more. Lengthen spine. Lift the chest. Bring the toes back towards the shoulders. Nice and slowly release. And send the legs long. Lifting up. Exhale, fold. Release over. Deep breaths. Rolling up through the spine. The hands come to the right side of your mat, greeting the earth. So we're going to fold over, but we're going to keep that left sit bone grounded. So both sit bones are grounded as you release over to the right, greeting the earth. Got a side stretch going on there. Keep the chest nice and open. I've seen people come down to their forearms. I don't know how. Oh, that's impossible. I could do one forearm, but not both. Bring yourself back into center. Go to the other side. Make sure that that back right sit bone is still grounded. It's not lifting off. And both feet are parallel. You're not shunting the right leg forward of the left. Keep the chest open and lifted. And then bring back into center. Release the left leg back behind you. So fold into the knee, come up onto the heel, and bring the right foot up towards the knee. There we go. This is your semi-kneeling praying mantis. We're going to send the left arm through, coming into a twist, opening up the chest, turning towards the back, pressing the palms together. Good. And release. Come into an Ardha Matsyendrasana twist from there. So that left heel comes under and the right foot crosses over. Lengthen through the spine, get the belly free of the thigh, relaxing through the face, forehead, area between the eyebrows. Turning all the way around, lifting the buttocks and coming all the way back down. This time the right leg bends, left foot comes by the heel. Semi-kneeling praying mantis, right arm threads through. Try and get the knee right over the armpit, the crease of your elbow. And then opening up. Try and ground as much through the left foot as you are through the right leg. Nice and gradually you bring yourself back into center. You bring the right foot underneath you, coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana twist. Right arm goes over left leg. Opening up the chest, getting the belly free of the thigh. And then bringing yourself all the way back around, lifting the hips and coming back and sending the legs long. Shuffle your way all the way down the mat so that you've got space behind you. So we're going to come back into that flying bear and we're going to go into a flying halasana with the legs. So bringing heels in, taking feet, making sure that you've got nothing to hit behind you. Flying bear. And then rolling back nice and carefully into flying halasana. Oh, I didn't make it all the way. That's it. Go all the way back. Backward roll. Go on. Yes. Let me give that one another go. Oh, there we go. So keep the neck nice and long here. The chin extends away from the chest. And if you like, you can release the hands from the toes, but keep the legs nice and wide there in that halasana. The arms might support the spine. The arms might go down the mat. Bend the knees by the ears. Come into snail pose, dropping the shins as much as you can in towards the earth. Lifting sit bones. From here, extending the legs into plow. From here, bringing the hands to the base of the spine, lifting the legs up into supported shoulder stand. Finding the breath. And nice and slowly bend the knees into the forehead. Release the hands and roll down through the spine. And let the legs go all the way down to the mat. Find a moment in Shavasana, all the way on your back. Soften, relax everything here. Draw the knees in towards the chest and roll out through the spine. Be under no estimation that you have really worked the spine and the core today through the plank transitions, through those lizard balances, also the flying bear balances and bear pose, also your baby grasshoppers. Keeping the right knee in towards the chest, let the left foot go to the mat with a bent knee. We're going to cross over into a reclined twist, which will lead us into a catching the cat's tail. So rolling over onto the left side, your right hand reaches down towards your left foot. If you like, you can straighten that top leg and you might just take hold of the foot there. Bit hard for me, I've run out of space. So straight top right leg, bent underneath leg, with the hand taking hold of that foot. Try and draw the heel towards the buttock and try and straighten the leg in line with your left hip. Find a steady breath. Relax and smile. Lifting the corners of the mouth. Smiling behind the eyes. Releasing the underneath leg first. And then bringing the right leg back into the center, up towards the sky. You're in a warrior 3 pose. Arms come behind the head. Stretch out into that warrior 3, pressing the sole of the foot away. And nice and slowly lower that leg all the way to the mat. Use good core control here. It stretches out the hip flexor. Draw both knees in. Roll and massage out through the spine. Keeping left knee in, right foot bent down onto the mat. Roll onto the right hip. Catch the underneath foot with the left hand, and maybe you extend the top left leg. If you're extending the top left leg, you can hold the outer edge of the foot, the calf, the back of the thigh. Opening up the chest towards the sky, exhaling. Bringing back into center as you release underneath a foot first. Left leg comes up into your warrior 3 position and release the arms back behind the head. You're going to suck the navel towards the lower back towards the mat. And slowly with control, lower that left leg all the way down. Take a moment to rest in Shavasana. Draw knees in, roll and massage out. Let's come into happy baby. Knees go wide, feet go up to the sky, rock and roll from side to side. Extend the tailbone long. Relax the shoulders from the ears. Make sure those thighs are pulling down towards the earth. And from here, you can extend right leg. So straightening through the back of the right knee. Drawing those toes downwards. And then gently bend at the knee. Bring it back into that happy baby. Extend the left leg. Keeping tailbone long. Bring back into center. And your option, both feet together. Reclined bear. Breathing, relaxing, smiling, enjoying the stretch. Gently release the feet back into the center. Take the soles of the feet together. Come into butterfly and just soften the belly, soften the spine here. Relax into the hip flexors and take the left hand onto the heart space, right hand onto the belly. No effort needed here now. And just for these moments before we come into final relaxation, just think back throughout the practice. I'm sure there were some challenges. We don't have to enjoy everything, but we do want to find a fun and lightheartedness to our practice as well as our daily lives. Everything is temporary, nothing is permanent. Things constantly transition, transform, and change. Releasing the hands from the body to the thighs, lifting the legs together, taking the feet wide, toes turn in, heels turn out. Let the knees just rest together. Relax everything through the feet, the ankles, the legs. Relax through the pelvis. And if you feel that you need to do something else here, maybe another stretch, maybe just make yourself warm. Take time to come into final relaxation in Shavasana. So quite a few new transitions, a few new postures. How did you fare? You can now enjoy your relaxation with, a smile on your face that you tackled all of these new things, new adventures, new vistas and memories that you are making. And even in the face of challenge and change, Happiness is always available to you. Finding fun, lightheartedness on the mat. So as you now lay down, relax your bones. Feel the heaviness of your body. Taking a slow, a long, deep breath into your body matrix. And as you exhale, feel the warmth of relaxation flood over you. Taking your attention to your skin. Feel how it coats your entire body, holding the muscles, the connective tissue, and the bones all in place. Now dive deeper underneath the skin and feel into your own skeleton, your skeletal system, all the bones that make up your shape. The skull, the arms, the rib cage, the hips, and the legs. As I now name the bones, imagine each one is floating and suspended in water, being held on the tide of soft tissues. The skull, the jaw, the collarbones, the upper arms, the lower arms, all fingers and thumbs. The sternum, the rib cage, the spine, front of the pelvis, back of the pelvis, upper legs, lower legs, the foot, ankle, all 10 toes, your entire skeleton is floating, supported, and suspended. Pour your attention into your still body. Tune in to deep release and relaxation. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your room, onto your mat, and into the body. Bringing movement to hands, wrists, toes, feet. Releasing into the head and the neck, choosing to stretch or just drawing the knees in and rolling and massaging out. Whatever feels good when you awaken from Shavasana. Rolling over to one side as you take a pause there for a moment. Taking time to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra. And as you sit nice and tall, come back to your face, your facial expression. As you soften the forehead, relax the frown. Soften between the eyebrows, the area around the temples and around the eyes. Soften into the cheekbones and the jaw. Relaxing into the teeth and letting the tongue just rest on the roof of the mouth. As the corners of the mouth start to rise up, you feel a lightness into your face, into your mind, smiling behind the eyes, and reminding yourself to enjoy the process of discovery along a journey, and finding fun and lightheartedness in all you do. Always remembering to give yourself thanks. Give yourself a big smile. And I thank you. Namaste. Thank you.